My ex-wife cheated and abandoned me with our kids. Now she wants me to support her stepkid. I took her to court and what happened next shattered her entire world. I need to get this off my chest because the sheer effing audacity of some people still amazes me even after everything I've been through. 6 years ago, I 32M at the time, now 38M, thought I had it all figured out. Good job in construction, beautiful wife Monica, 31F, then 2 amazing kids. Caleb was 8 and Riley was 6. We weren't rich, but we were solid. I was pulling in decent money as a construction foreman. Had just bought us a house in a decent neighborhood, and was working my sauce off to give my family everything they needed. Then one night in October, everything went to SHT. Monica had been acting weird for months. Coming home late from her office job, constantly on her phone, distant in bed. I'm not an idiot. I knew something was up. But I was too busy working 60-hour weeks to dig deeper. Big mistake. The night I found out, she'd fallen asleep on the couch with her phone unlocked. I wasn't snooping initially, just wanted to plug it in for her. But there it was, right on the screen, messages from someone saved as K talking about how amazing last night was and when they could meet again at their place. I sat there for maybe an hour just staring at that phone, reading through months of messages. This wasn't some drunk mistake or momentary weakness. She'd been effing her coworker Keith for at least 4 months. They had an apartment. They were planning a future. She was actively looking for ways to leave me and take half of everything. When she woke up, I was sitting across from her with her phone on the coffee table between us. We need to talk, I said. The look on her face when she saw her phone, she knew immediately. No denial, no tears, no begging, just this cold, almost relieved expression. I'm glad you found out. She said, I'm tired of pretending. Pretending. 8 years of marriage, 2 kids, and she called it pretending. The conversation that followed was brutal in its simplicity. She was done. She loved Keith. She wanted a divorce. She was leaving that night. What about the kids? I asked. I'll never forget her response. They'll be fine. Kids are resilient. Besides, I need to focus on myself right now. She packed 2 suitcases while I sat with Caleb and Riley in the living room trying to figure out how the F I was going to explain this. When she came downstairs, she barely looked at them. Mommy's going to stay somewhere else for a while. She told them like she was going on effing business trip. Riley started crying. Caleb just stared at her with these huge eyes. When are you coming back? He asked. Soon, baby. Be good for daddy. That was the last time she spoke to them. She left that night in her car, presumably to Keith's apartment. No forwarding address. Blocked my number within days. Quit her job and disappeared completely. No divorce papers, no custody arrangement, no child support, nothing. Just gone. The first year nearly broke me. Not emotionally. F that. I don't have time for self-pity when I've got 2 kids depending on me. But financially and physically brutal. I had to take on a second job working warehouse nights to cover childcare and keep the house. My days looked like this. Up at 5 a.m., get kids ready for school, work construction from 7 to 4 o'clock, pick up kids, homework, dinner, bedtime routine, then warehouse from 10 p.m. 3 a.m. sleep for 2 hours. Repeat. My brother Tony moved in for a few months to help with the kids when I was at my night job. My parents, both in their 70s, did what they could, but mostly it was just me, grinding it out, making sure my kids had everything they needed while their mother was playing house with her boyfriend. The kids struggled hard. Riley had nightmares for months. Caleb got into fights at school. Both went to therapy, which I could barely afford, but made work because that's what you effing do as a parent. You show up. I filed for divorce after she'd been gone a year. Had to do it by publication since I couldn't find her. Got full custody by default since she didn't show up to court. The judge asked if I wanted to pursue child support. I said yes, but we both knew it was pointless without knowing where she was. Slowly, painfully, we rebuilt. I busted myself. We'd found our rhythm as a family of 3. I dated here and there, but nothing serious. My focus was on my kids and my career. We moved to a better house in a better school district. Life was good. Not perfect, but good. Then 2 weeks ago, I got a Facebook message from an account I didn't recognize. David, it's Monica. We need to talk. It's important. 6 years of radio silence, and that's her opening line. I stared at that message for a long time. Part of me wanted to ignore it, block her, pretend I never saw it, but I needed to know what the F she wanted. Plus, if she was planning some kind of legal move, I needed to be ahead of it. I responded, public place, 1 hour max. I'm recording everything. She agreed to meet at a coffee shop downtown the following Saturday. Update 1 posted 3 days later. Holy SHT, you guys were right. It was about money. I met Monica yesterday and I barely recognized her. The confident, put-together woman who walked out on us 6 years ago looked rough, tired, worn down. Karma's a BCH. I guess I got there early, picked a corner table where I could see the entrance and started recording on my phone. She showed up 10 minutes late, ordered a coffee with shaking hands, and sat down across from me. You look good, she started. Success suits you. Cut the BS. What do you want? She flinched but recovered quickly. Then came the soba story. Keith, the love of her life, who she abandoned her family for, lost his job 8 months ago. He's been struggling to find work. They're behind on rent. But here's the kicker. Keith has a daughter from his previous marriage. Jasmine, 16 years old. Sweet kid, apparently has some chronic health condition that requires expensive medication and regular specialist visits. We can't afford her treatment anymore, Monica said. Tears starting to form. Insurance won't cover everything. And without Keith's job, I let her talk, saying nothing, just recording. I know you're doing well now, she continued. I've seen your LinkedIn project manager at one of the biggest construction firms in the state. That's amazing, David. I'm proud of you. Get to the effing point. I need help. Financial help for Jasmine. She's just a kid, David. She doesn't deserve to suffer because of our situation. I almost laughed. Almost. Our situation. There is no anything. You want me to pay for your husband's kids' medical bills? You're the only person I can ask. My parents disowned me after I left. Keith's family isn't in a position to help. You know, I wouldn't ask if I had any other choice. Really? Because from where I'm sitting, you had plenty of choices. Like the choice to not abandon your own kids, the choice to pay child support, the choice to pick up the effing phone once in 6 years. Her face hardened. Don't act like you didn't benefit from me leaving. Look at you now. Successful, stable. You wouldn't be where you were if you'd been dealing with a messy divorce and shared custody. That's when I knew she'd lost her effing mind. Benefit. Benefit. Do you have any idea what I went through? Working 2 jobs, sleeping 2 hours a night, watching my kids cry themselves to sleep, asking why mommy doesn't love them anymore. I'm not proud of how I handled things, she said quietly. But I'm trying to do right by Jasmine now. She's my daughter, too. In every way that matters, except legally and financially, apparently. She leaned forward. David, please. I know you're angry, but you're also a father. You understand doing anything for your kids. I'm begging you. Even a small amount would help. You make what? $200K now? You can afford. Stop. Just effing stop. I stood up. You know what? Thank you for this meeting. You just made my next decision a lot easier. What decision? You'll find out soon enough. I walked out, leaving her sitting there with her cold coffee and crocodile tears. That afternoon, I called the best family lawyer in town. Update 2. Posted 1 week later. Alright, buckle up because this escalated quickly. After meeting with Monica, I went straight to a family law attorney, Ms. Rodriguez, who came highly recommended. I laid out the entire situation, the abandonment, 0 contact for 6 years, no child support, and now we're trying to hit me up for money for her stepdaughter. Ms. Rodriguez's first question, did she ever legally terminate her parental rights? The answer was no. In my anger and focus on moving forward, I'd never pushed for it. The divorce decree gave me full custody, but Monica was still legally their mother, which meant theoretically she could come back at any time and petition for visitation or even partial custody. Not effing happening, I told her. Then we need to move fast. MS. Rodriguez said, we'll file for involuntary termination of parental rights based on abandonment. 6 years of 0 contact or support is more than enough grounds. But David, once we do this, it's permanent. Your kids will legally have no mother. They already don't have a mother. This just makes it official. We filed the paperwork that week. Monica was served at her apartment. My pie found her easily. She was living in a complex about 2 hours away. The same day she was served. My phone exploded. 47 missed calls. Over 100 texts. I didn't answer any of them. Just screenshotted everything for my lawyer. The texts ranged from, please don't do this. I'm sorry for everything. You're being cruel. I have rights as their mother. This is about revenge. Keith doesn't know I walked out on them. Please, David. The first begging you. That last part caught my attention. Keith didn't know. This effing woman told her new husband what exactly about her kids. My lawyer loved that detail. Keep all of these texts. Don't respond to any of them. Monica hired a lawyer with what money? I don't know. They filed a response claiming she'd been suffering from postpartum depression and anxiety when she left. That she'd wanted to return but was afraid I wouldn't let her see the kids, that she was now in a stable position to be a mother. BS. All of it. Ms. Rodriguez started issuing subpoenas. Bank records showing 0 attempts at child support. Phone records showing 0 attempts at contact. Social media records showing her living her best life with Keith. Vacations, date nights, playing stepmom to Jasmine while her own kids went without. But the real kicker came when we subpoenaed Keith for a deposition. This poor had no idea. Monica had told him that she had kids, but that I was abusive and had threatened her if she tried to see them. She said she left for her safety and mine had full custody because I'd manipulated the system. He believed her because why wouldn't he? She'd been raising his daughter for 5 years like she was her own. When Ms. Rodriguez showed him the evidence, the abandonment, the text saying she needed to focus on herself, the complete lack of any police reports or restraining orders that would back up her abuse claims. He looked like someone had punched him in the gut. I need to talk to my wife, he said. I'd advise you to talk to a lawyer first, Ms. Rodriguez told him. Update 3 posted 2 weeks later. Court date was yesterday. I'm still processing everything that happened. First, I need to address something. Yes, I told my kids about the court hearing. Not all the details, but they're 14 and 12, not stupid. They knew their mother had reached out and that there were legal proceedings. Caleb especially had questions I couldn't dodge anymore. I sat them down 2 weeks before the hearing and laid it out simply. Your mother contacted me asking for money. I'm going to court to make sure she can't disrupt our lives or make any legal claims on our family. Riley's response. Good. I don't want her near us. Caleb was quieter, but finally said, can I write something for the judge about how I feel? Both kids ended up writing letters. I didn't read them. That felt like violating their privacy. They sealed them and gave them to Ms. Rodriguez to submit to the judge. The day of the hearing, I wore my best suit. Monica showed up looking like she'd aged 10 years in the 2 months since I'd seen her. Keith wasn't with her. Red flag number 1. The hearing was supposed to be straightforward. Present evidence of abandonment, show continuous lack of contact or support. Judge rules on termination of parental rights, but Monica's lawyer tried to turn it into a circus. They brought in a therapist who'd been seeing Monica for 2 months, convenient timing, to testify about her supposed mental health struggles when she left. They had character witnesses from her current life talking about what a devoted stepmother she was to Jasmine. They tried to paint me as vindictive, using my success against me, saying I was trying to punish her now that I had money and power. Then Ms. Rodriguez went to work. 6 years of bank records showing $0 in child support. Phone records showing 0 calls to the kids. Social media posts from the week she left showing her and Keith at wine tastings and concerts while I was working doubles. A particularly damning post from 3 months after she left. Finally living my truth. No regrets, only forward. We had teachers testify about the kids' emotional struggles after she left. The therapist who worked with them for 2 years. My brother Tony talking about moving in to help because I was working 18-hour days to keep us afloat. But the most powerful moment was when the judge read the kids' letters in chambers. He came back looking grim. Miss Monica, he said, I've been doing this for 23 years. I've seen parents make mistakes, struggle with mental health, make bad choices. But in all that time, I've rarely seen such a complete and willful abandonment of parental responsibility. Monica started crying. Not the pretty tears from our coffee shop meeting. Ugly, snot-running sobbing. The judge continued, you left 2 young children without explanation. You provided no financial support. You made no attempted contact. You started a new life and new family while your biological children suffered. And now only when you need financial assistance for your stepchild do you suddenly remember they exist. Your Honor, her lawyer started, but the judge cut him off. I've read the children's letters. Your client's son at 14 years old shows more emotional maturity than she has displayed in this entire proceeding. He writes, and I quote, with his permission, she made her choice 6 years ago. I've made mine now. I don't want or need a mother who only remembers I exist when she needs something. Monica's sobbing got louder. Still no Keith. The daughter's letter is shorter, but equally clear. She wants no contact and feels safer without the possibility of her mother returning. The judge's ruling was swift, complete termination of parental rights. Monica would have no legal claim to the children, no right to contact, no say in their lives. Additionally, he ordered her to pay 6 years of back child support, roughly $75,000 based on state calculations. That's when Monica lost it completely. Screaming about unfairness, how I turned the kids against her, how the system was biased against mothers. Her lawyer literally had to hold her back when she lunged toward me. "You ruined my life," she screamed. "Keith left me. He took Jasmine. I have nothing because of you." So Keith had found out the truth and bailed. Good for him. Security escorted her out while she was still screaming. My lawyer and I walked out calmly. In the parking lot, I saw Monica sitting on a bench, completely broken. For a split second, I felt nothing. Not pity, not satisfaction, just nothing. She wasn't my problem anymore. I took my kids out for dinner that night. We didn't talk about the hearing. We talked about Caleb's upcoming tournament and Riley's robot design. Normal family stuff, because that's what we are, a normal, happy family, just the three of us. Final update posted 6 months later. Figured I owe you all one last update since you follow this journey. Life is good. Really effing good. The child support order was a joke. Monica declared bankruptcy within 2 months. Can't get blood from a stone. But that was never about the money anyway. It was about protecting my kids and closing that chapter permanently. I found out through the grapevine small town. People talked that Monica's life completely imploded after the hearing. Keith divorced her immediately. Apparently, finding out your wife abandoned her kids and lied about it for 5 years is a deal-breaker. Who knew? He got full custody of Jasmine and moved out of state to be closer to his family. The beautiful irony. Monica is now in the exact position I was in 6 years ago, working multiple jobs to afford an apartment alone, dealing with the consequences of someone else's betrayal, except she doesn't have 2 amazing kids to make it all worthwhile. She tried contacting me once more about 3 months after the hearing. A long rambling email about forgiveness and second chances and how she's learned from her mistakes. I forwarded it to my lawyer and had her send a cease and desist. Haven't heard from her since. As for us, Caleb's travel team made it to regionals. He's looking at baseball scholarships already, even though high school is still a year away. Kid's got a wicked fastball in the discipline to match. He hasn't mentioned his mother once since the hearing. Riley's robotics team won state and went to nationals. Watching her present her design to a panel of engineers, confident, brilliant, passionate, I almost cried. She's already talking about MIT or Caltech. I'm starting a college fund because holy SHT, those places are expensive. I'm still single and honestly perfectly fine with that. My brother keeps trying to set me up with women, but I'm in no rush. My kids and my career are enough for now. Maybe someday when the kids are older, I'll think about dating seriously again. Or maybe not. Either way, I'm content. We moved again to an even better house with a pool and a workshop for Riley's robots. I got another promotion, senior project manager. Now overseeing multiple sites. The money is stupid good, but more importantly, the hours are flexible enough that I never miss the important stuff. Last week, we were having dinner and Caleb said something that stuck with me. "Dad, I'm glad she left." Yeah. Because if she hadn't, you might have stayed married to someone who didn't love us and we might have thought that was normal. Now we know what real love looks like. It looks like showing up every day, even when it's hard. Effing 14-year-old made me tear up over my spaghetti, Riley added. Plus, we wouldn't have our tradition of terrible movie Fridays if she was here. She had good taste in movies. We all laughed because it's true. I have absolutely SHT taste in movies and inflicted on them weekly. They pretend to hate it, but always show up with popcorn. That's our life now. Baseball tournaments, robot competitions, terrible movies, family dinners, inside jokes, unconditional love. Everything Monica walked away from, everything she thought wasn't worth staying for is exactly what makes my life worth living. To anyone reading this who's been abandoned, betrayed, or left to pick up the pieces, it gets better. Not easier necessarily, but better. You find out what you're made of. You build something stronger than what was broken. And sometimes the best revenge isn't really revenge at all. It's just living well and being happy despite someone's best efforts to destroy you. Monica thought she was leaving us behind for a better life. Turns out we were the ones who upgraded. Thanks for following along, Reddit. This community helped me process a lot of anger and confusion, but I'm done looking backward now. Time to focus on the future. And the future looks effing amazing. Edit since a lot of you are asking. Yes, I have cameras and security at the new house. Not because I'm worried about Monica specifically, but because I'm not an idiot. The kids are still in therapy, but monthly now instead of weekly. Healing isn't linear, but they're doing incredibly well. I'm not sharing identifying details about where we live or work. Privacy matters. To the single parents reaching out, you've got this. It's hard as F, but you're stronger than you think. No, this isn't fake. I wish it was sometimes, but real life is often stranger than fiction. Keith, if you're somehow reading this, you dodged a bullet, man. Hope you and Jasmine are doing well. Take care of yourselves, Reddit. And remember, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Don't wait for them to abandon your kids to figure it out. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.